Even though Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford hasn't taken place yet, the victor is already being heralded as boxing's best pound for pound. To whom could one possibly object? This era's Hagler Hearn, a fight with the aura of two unbeaten world champs, the undisputed champion in the welterweight division. Hey Ringsiders, what is going on? This is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer, and welcome back to Ringside Stories. Or if you're new to the channel, we make content regarding boxing through mini documentaries, backstories, and much more. So if you enjoy that type of content, feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the latest here on Ringside Stories. Thanks so much for your support in advance, and welcome to the channel. Today we'll go over the pros for the truth and 5 reasons why Errol Spence Jr. beats Terence Crawford. But first, I'd like to give a shout out to today's sponsor, LiveGood. LiveGood is a company which promotes 100% organic supplements. These have great benefits for better stamina and great health overall. Not only that, they are promoted at an extremely affordable price. Now, I personally love these supplements because of the fact that LiveGood allows you to make money at the comforts of your own home at the cost of only your Netflix monthly subscription. Click the link in the description box below for more info. Number 1. Calm under pressure. Now, we know Errol Spence's life outside of the boxing ring has been up and down, at least not too long ago.
Now to the video you saw first on the CBS DFW social media channels. A violent crash overnight as a Ferrari flipped on a Dallas street. In that car was Errol Spence Jr. He's the boxing champion from DeSoto. Spence survived the crash, but is in rough shape at a Dallas hospital right now.
I really was just sore. Like, my whole body was just sore. It was just I guess a miracle from God. And, he really protected me during the accident because, anybody else would probably been killed. So, it was just a blessing from God.
The fact Errol Spence Jr. is able to remain calm under pressure and to approach fights in a matter-of-fact kind of way is a definite pro for the truth.
Right uppercut. And while Spence is fixated on the mouthpiece, he will get nailed by a right hand by Ugas.
Even in his recent fight against WBA world champion Yordenis Ugas, when Errol Spence seemed to glitch, Spence was able to weather the storm, remain calm, get back to business, and beat Ugas into submission.
Spence fought a lot of elite fighters in his career, thank than Crawford. So right now, if I'm picking, I'll go with Spence.
Number 2, elite Southpaw. When was Terence Crawford's previous fight against a Southpaw? But won 2 fights in 2017 against Southpaw opponents, Felix Diaz, and his preceding fight against Julius Indongo for the undisputed crown at 140. Being ambidextrous, Crawford's adversities have a hard time adjusting to him, but switches his stand for each of his fights depending on his opponent. Furthermore, the undefeated former undisputed super lightweight champion of the world is known for his flexibility. Crawford's choice of fight against the truth will be fascinating to observe. Looking back to his past battles against lefties, Terence took a similar position as he might against Errol Spence Jr. One could argue that it is a wise choice given that Spence frequently defeated right-handed opponents. On the other hand, the truth has a substantial advantage in his situation, even against a killer like Terence Crawford. The fact that Errol Spence Jr. is a natural southpaw will give him the edge in that department. We also know that posture can throw off a right-handed fighter's concentration, but would it have the same effect against the lefty who is just as much of a killer as Errol Spence is? If things don't go as planned, will Crawford be willing to take chances and make the adjustments? There are a lot of unanswered questions, but it only makes us more excited for the upcoming clash between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. Right now, the only crucial information we have regarding stances is that Errol Spence Jr. is an experienced elite level southpaw. Terence Crawford has never faced one of these before. Number 3, physical edge. When it comes to the confrontation between two boxers of such level, it is too difficult to identify a winner because this is a real 50-50 fight, and we have to refer to different factors such as the physical. Crawford has spent most of his career at lower weight classes, the super lightweight or junior welterweight division, and moved up to 147 in the second half of 2018. Terence was abnormally big for the lighter divisions, just some kind of a giant, but now the gap between between his coming opponent is not so huge. We don't have the exact data, of course, but sources say Terence Crawford's walking around weight is about 177 pounds, just a little over the light heavyweight limit. As for Errol Spence Jr., there have been rumors of him gaining up to as high as 190 pounds when he was out of shape, but normally he walks around and around 170 pounds. Now, the unified champion obviously has no problem fighting in the clinch or pushing his opponents away. No welterweight has yet been strong enough to properly tie up and neutralize Spence. Crawford might have to be able to deal with that for the first time. At the same time, Spence himself can calmly measure his strength and in some episodes tightly hold Terence Crawford and wear him down. Errol Spence has proven to be a hard worker, hasn't really shown much of a decline in terms of his stamina, and given his track record, this is something that Errol Spence Jr. will continue to build upon. Number 4, Errol Spence's arsenal. Errol Spence Jr.'s best shot most probably is his jab. Spence throws between 30 to 45 jabs during each round of a fight. We don't have the exact data, but it's definitely one of the best, if not the best, in the welterweight division at the moment. If we look at the frequency of Errol's punches, we find that The Truth throws a jab once every 5 seconds on average. The scariest thing about the whole endless stream is that with each round, the number of jabs often only increases. But that would be half the trouble if he was just spamming with one punch. But obviously, Errol's combinations start off with the jab.
Crawford and Spence, Spence and Crawford. Spence.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Spence is much bigger fighter on fight night. He's the type of guy that uses his size and his jab very well. He will impose his will on you for those rounds for as long as it lasts. I think he goes the distance, but I think he wins.
The current unified welterweight world champion is very fond of the very concept of the straight hand punch, so he inserts it in every of his combinations and upgrades it to suit the situation if the opponent is far away. Spence will shoot a very long jab over the top or bottom, then shorten the distance and then adds a fast left cross at mid-range.
You really got to break him down mentally, physically, strong-wise, you know what I'm saying? So I really believe that that fight is a 50-50 fight. And I love both of them, man, but I got to go for Errol Spence, bro. He's got a big heart, and the guy goes to the body a lot, man. Something that Terence Crawford hasn't been tested with. There's that little piece that we got to see. You know what I'm saying? How he's going to take those body shots.
Not a problem for Spence, who can, for example, double jab and catch up with a single hand or show a fake jab and then dive the left hand to the body. And there are plenty of examples of how The Truth can come at different angles for another combination, starting with the jab. Why would Errol Spence's success, starting with a single jab, work against Terence Crawford? You'll say Terence knows how to work against the jab with his block and mobility, which would be true, but then again, Crawford is used to coming up with something against right-handed jabs. Well, then there's Errol Spence's body attack. Many boxers don't want to learn effective body punching, but those who will take the time to actually do it and reap the benefits during their entire careers, Errol Spence Jr. happens to be one of them. His body work is similar to combinations to the head, with the odd uppercuts and powerful hooks to deliver, but they come much less often than the juicy straight punches or jabs that take your breath away. We cannot be 100% sure, but I think that straight hand punches to the body will be one of the main reasons for Errol Spence Jr.'s victory over Terence Bud Crawford. Number 5. Errol Spence Jr. is a machine. Errol Spence Jr. has a very intelligent way of applying pressure.
When I fought Spence, I felt like from the standpoint of the cerebral side of the boxing game, I felt like I was a step ahead in that fight. I always thought that that was the big separation between him and Terence. Until I started to assess the fact that he's been in the ring with me. It's been now 3 years since we fought. I think he's smarter now.
Spence stands out even against them. There's always that iron will and unshaken confidence, which is probably Errol Spence's greatest asset. This characteristic sounds a little crazy when we remember how many jabs Errol Spence Jr. throws in a round. Another benefit of this machine of work is that Spence can rip the pace of his opponents. When a boxer on the opposite side of the ring tries to set tempo with a swing, Errol Spence Jr. just waits until his opponent has a second to react and then punches. The punch is so stunning and precise that it almost always hits the target. So while he's boxing, Spence is in the ring playing chess and and so far has always won. Confidence, calculation, and precision are the main ingredients for Spence to beat Terence Crawford and become the new undisputed welterweight world champion. We will make an episode on why Terence Crawford beats Errol Spence Jr., but let us know what your observations are regarding the truth Errol Spence Jr. in the comment section below. If you enjoy content like this and you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell. It helps out the channel a lot, i.e. inspire us to make more quality content for y'all. As always, thank you so much for your support and welcome to Ringside Stories. Now, if you've done that already, you're amazing. We already know that you are the true undisputed world champion. Till next time, Ringsiders, this is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer, with Ringside Stories. Thanks for watching and have a legendary day.